to the action for another day of the week. Welcome to the Monday edition of Chasing That Paper, presented by VegasInsider.com. Got a great show planned for you guys today. My 4 best bets across the NBA and the NHL. Before we get into that, though, do me a favor, right down there, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. It makes our content a lot easier for you to find. We've got a lot of great content here at Vegas Insider, so I'm going to be flying solo today. No Ian. Ian, of course, usually joins me on the Monday program, but producer Tito and I received an email from Ian this morning that he's feeling a little under the weather, a little suspicious, a little convenient that he's calling in sick today. Of course, you might recall, if you're a regular viewer of the show, Ian put it all on the line last week. The biggest bet he ever made in his life as a bettor was on Cyril Gahn for the UFC 285 main event. We all know how that went. It did not go Ian's way. So, Ian called in sick. We're not going to let him off the hook, though. He's going to have some explaining to do when he joins us on Thursday's program. So, Ian, get well soon. We hope you enjoy your long weekend. All right, a lot to get into. Let's start with that action. We're going to start in Miami in the NBA with the Atlanta Hawks in town. We're taking a shot on the Hawks as a plus 3.5 point underdog over at BetMGM as of this morning. So fading Miami after a win is what we do here at Chasing That Paper. This has been a big money spot for us. Miami coming off a win versus these Hawks on Saturday night. Miami is 9-21-3 against the spread after a win this season. Miami hasn't covered in consecutive games since January 6 and 8. That's a span of 24 games where they're 0-7 ATS following a cover, and they did cover the spread versus the Hawks in that game on Saturday night. Miami is also a fantastic fade as a home favorite. 7-20-2 against the spread as a home favorite? Are you kidding me? Covering at just 25.9% in that spot. And of course, you got to dig into the stats here. Miami offense remains ice cold. Last 10 games, 28th in EFG percentage, 27th in three-point percentage, 27th in points per 100 possessions. Atlanta obviously better in each of these spots, plus better or close to them in those categories defensively. Give me the Atlanta Hawks plus 3.5 tonight in beautiful Miami. Next up, too, for the price of one, a game so nice that we're going to bet it twice. I'm talking Raptors Nuggets tonight in beautiful Denver, Colorado. I'm going to take the Nuggets to cover the first quarter spread coming in at -2 and the full game spread coming in at -6.5. So first, the case for the first quarter cover at -2. Rough road starts for the Raptors. They are 2-8 against the spread in the first quarter in their last 10 games on the road. They've actually gone 8 consecutive road games where they failed to outscore the opponent in the opening frame of the games. Taking a look at the Nuggets in the first quarter, they're number 1 in the NBA in first quarter point margin at home this season. That first quarter bet worth a shot given these patterns. Then we open it up, the full game stats here. A big gap between these teams offensively. Last 10 games, 4 versus 25 in EFG percentage, 6 versus 24 in points per 100 possessions. Both of those, of course, favoring the Denver Nuggets, who are on a ridiculous run at home right now. 23-1 in their last 24 home games, 17-6-1 against the spread in that span. And Toronto has had it easy lately. This is a major step up in competition versus a great team in a challenging playing environment. Take a look at their schedule. Lots of Wizards, Bulls, Pistons, Magic, Spurs, and Rocket-type games lately. And they have played good teams lately, and it hasn't been much of them. They got destroyed by Cleveland. The Suns and Warriors easily knocked them off. I think the Nuggets easily knocked them off here tonight. Nuggets first quarter and full game covers tonight. Beautiful Denver, Colorado. And we're going to wrap things up on the ice. We're going to take a swing. You guys know we are swingers around here at Chasing That Paper. Big game going down tonight. The San Jose Sharks in Winnipeg to take on the Jets. I'm going to take a swing on those Sharks coming in at plus 195. So this game is much closer than these odds indicate. Dig into the analytics, and you will see that the Sharks have that analytical edge over the last 10 games. San Jose comes out ahead in Corsi for percentage, expected goals for percentage, and high danger chances for percentage, where they rank an impressive 5th. That 10-game sample size, I'd argue it's been a very unlucky stretch for the Sharks. Last 10 games, they are 4th in expected goals, but 29th in actual goals in that span. So hopefully a couple of bounces go their way. And the man between the pipes for the Jets, Connor Hellebuyck. Usually a reason you back the Jets. He's been having a rough time here lately, though. 19 goals allowed in his last 4 games. Jets are 1-4 in his last 5 starts. Probably his worst stretch of the season. Taking a shot on that big dog. Give me the Sharks plus 195. Woo. There you have it. 4 total picks across the NBA and NHL. If you're looking to tail any of that action, if you're looking to fade some of that action, the choice quite simply is yours. I recommend placing your bets over at BetMGM. Let me tell you a little bit about them. Sign up with BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, using the promo code VIBONUS and get a first bet offer up to $1,000 paid back in bonus bets if you don't win. That's VIBONUS, all one word, no spaces, for a first bet offer of $1,000 paid back in bonus bets if you don't win. Just use that code VIBONUS. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 years or older to wager. Offers for new customers only. BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Yeah! Woo! Still never heard back from Jamie Foxx, by the way. See him in all those BetMGM ads. That one you just saw. I'm trying to get him on the program here. Okay, so some interesting stories out of the sports world out of the weekend. We have 3 that we're going to touch on. UFC 285, Ja Morant, and Anthony Richardson at the draft combine. Some real serious odds movement in the NFL draft betting market. So let's start with UFC 285. You guys know we're a big UFC show around here. And, of course, Jon Jones, the main event, easy work. The guy takes 3 years off, and he makes, light work. Barely even broke a sweat versus Cyril Gane. And that's one of those bets in hindsight. I regret not making that Jon Jones minus 165 bet, the biggest bet I ever made. Of course, we know Ian, how he made out with Cyril Gane. But, guys, you just go back. There was a big red flag for each of those guys. Jones was the ring rust. And I said going into that fight with ring rust, we're just guessing how that's going to impact certain fighters. Some guys it impacts, some it doesn't. But you mean to tell me Cyril Gane, the guy that got dominated on the ground by Francis Ngannou, got destroyed by Jon Jones in 2 minutes? The MMA GOAT? No big shock whatsoever. Gane, to be completely fair, I thought that was kind of pathetic by him. What exactly was he training? Like, he should have came out of that Ngannou fight a year ago, made his ground game his number 1 priority, but that was absolutely pathetic. And I think we got to look at Gane as one of the most one-dimensional ranked fighters on the UFC roster now. Okay, so that's in the past. Now we're looking for what is next for Jon Jones. It is a fight with Stipe Miocic, the guy who's probably the best heavyweight fighter in the history of the sport. Looks like that one's going to go down at International Fight Week at the start of July. And, of course, when a fight is made or even mentioned, odds go up for it. Jon Jones already a pretty big favorite in this one, minus 350. We're not going to get any more discounts on Jon Jones anytime too soon. So a couple things on this. I think that the UFC and Jones did a pretty damn good job of burying Francis Ngannou. So, of course, Ngannou was a pretty big talking point leading up to this fight between Jones and Cyril Gane. But, Francis Ngannou, this guy's got to get some activity going. He hasn't competed in over a year now, and it's kind of – the UFC does not wait for any fighter, right? Like, as soon as this fight ends, okay, Jon Jones is the new heavyweight champion. He's the best. They go right to it, setting up the fight with Stipe Miocic. Jon Jones calls him out. The UFC right on the pay-per-view. They do an interview with Stipe. Then I thought Francis kind of looked a little bad putting out some tweets kind of disparaging John Jones a little bit. It's like, Francis, I know you have your side of the story, but you kind of left at the top, so you can't really be criticizing John Jones. When you left, you had the opportunity to fight him. So Jones versus Miocic here in July. I don't see any reason, how you could pick Stipe to win this fight. It's never good when a guy has one foot out the door towards retirement, and the way Jones just looked after a 3-year layoff, absolutely fantastic. But my big question is, what's next for John Jones after that? This is a guy, he's in his mid-30s now, and he kind of had an interesting statement that got overlooked a little bit. In this press conference, John Jones says, I have at least one more in me in regards to one more fight. And not a whole lot of attention was paid to that, but you got to consider the state of the heavyweight division in the UFC right now. It's not very strong at all. Like, okay, if he runs through Miocic or just beats him, okay, cool. What's next at heavyweight for John Jones after that? It would probably be the winner of Curtis Blades versus Pavlovich, which could be interesting. But after that, who's he fighting? Tai Tuivasa? Not a whole lot of interesting high-profile fights left at heavyweight. Kind of interesting, though, the 205-pound division, after a couple years of being a pretty mediocre division after John Jones left, really starting to heat up right now. I could see Jones going back down to 205. It looked like a lot of that weight he put on, a lot of it right there in the belly. Not the good type of weight either, but it didn't really seem to impact him. I would be interested to see Jones go a little bit longer in a fight, though, to see if his cardio is impacted by the move up to heavyweight, but I guess we're going to have to wait to find out. Okay, another big story out of the weekend, Friday night. A lot of us woke up to this one on Saturday morning. John Morant goes on Instagram Live and flashes his gun. Apparently shooting that in a strip club somewhere, showing off his gun. This coming out after news last week that he smacked the shit out of a 17-year-old. Situation with the Pacers earlier in the season where members of Ja's crew were pointing a red laser at them, indicating a gun. So, John Morant, he deserves criticism here. He's absolutely fucking up. It looks like he's going to take some time off, figure out this situation. But here's my take on this. I'm surprised this type of thing doesn't happen to a lot more super athletes like John Morant. A lot of these athletes, they live in this alternate reality where it's probably really hard for them to stay grounded and to stay humble. From a very young age in high school, these guys have nothing but people kissing their ass, telling them how great they are. Like, think about the best athletes at your high school. A lot of these guys were probably pretty damn high on themselves, and most of those guys probably never got the sniff of a pro contract. Now you take a guy like John Morant, super athlete, everyone kissing his ass from a young age, and he goes through the recruitment stage in college, a bunch of colleges kissing his ass, and he gets through, gets drafted into the NBA a couple of years later. Oh, here you go, dude. Here's $100 million. Expect these guys to always be on their best behavior. A lot of these guys probably feel invincible. That's probably what happened to Henry Ruggs. That's an extreme example of it. A different type of example would be Tiger Woods. He got in a lot of trouble once upon a time, as we might recall. He probably felt invincible. I'm guessing John Morant felt invincible here too. So hopefully he can get his shit together. He's got a lot ahead of him, a lot of money to be made, and, probably a top 10 NBA player right now. So, hopefully he can get that worked out. He does deserve some criticism here, though. Who knows, he's going to find himself in absence from the team, try to get ahead of that a little bit. Okay, the other big story coming out of the weekend is Anthony Richardson, Florida Gators quarterback, former Florida Gators quarterback, put on a big show, a freak show performance at the NFL Draft Combine, and as a result, he's absolutely shooting up the odds board, in terms of odds at least, here for the upcoming draft. So he is now second on the odds board to go number one overall. Bryce Young, of course, is still the favorite at minus 200. Richardson, plus 300, now ahead of C.J. Stroud, who drops down to plus 450. By the way, the Panthers are the favorite to draft Richardson, coming in at plus 300. It's kind of funny because Richardson opened at 100 to 1 to be the top pick. And my take on this is that this is a wild overreaction. Could Richardson be a good quarterback in the NFL? Sure. Absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he's a Pro Bowl level talent. But going into the combine, we knew this guy was a super athlete. We knew he's a great running quarterback. He can sling it. But he goes out to the combine and he proves that he can run really fast and jump really high. Now you're putting him ahead of C.J. Stroud, who I think proved himself in some big spots this season. So I don't agree with that at all. He could be a good quarterback, but this is a wild overreaction to the combine. Seems like we see this every single year. So we put a poll up on the Vegas Insider Twitter feed asking you guys to weigh in. Is Anthony Richardson the second best QB in the 2023 draft? An overwhelming 86.7% say no. I would go with Stroud. I'm not the biggest college football guy, as you guys know, but this is a wild overreaction. We knew he was a super athlete, Richardson, a freak athlete coming into the combine. Now the fact that just because he did it, kind of has Las Vegas Raiders written all over it, I think. They don't get Aaron Rodgers drafting Anthony Richardson. Kind of interesting. Yeah, so some big stories out of the weekend there in the sports world. If you guys have any takes on those, hit up the live chat or the comment section below. Let me know what you think of Richardson, Jammerant, and John Jones. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about the Vegas Insider app. It gives you all the major sports betting odds at your fingertips, along with picks and expert breakdowns. You can shop for the best odds, find props, features, and plenty more with the app. If you want more Vegas Insider content like our shows, videos, and podcasts, you can find it all on the app in the media section. Download the Vegas Insider app on Apple or Android. Bet better with the Vegas Insider app. Yeah.
Bang! It's good.
All right, let's get into some viewer picks. A couple submissions here this morning. We're going to start with Underdog Betting Specialist. He's on Wisconsin, Milwaukee. He's going to take their money line plus 120. He points out a bunch of statistical advantages here in this one, most notably that three-point shooting at 99th versus 350th. Big edge on the glass here as well, and a little edge defensively. So plus 120. Moneyline bet. Good luck to Underdog Betting Specialist with Wisconsin, Milwaukee. Moneyline. Matty Puppy Sports, our resident trend better. Our darling around here. Furman minus 5.5 versus Chattanooga in the SoCon Championship. Chattanooga is playing their fourth game in 4 nights, coming off a game where they shot 50% from the field. They can't do that on tired legs. Furman is 15-3 in conference versus Chattanooga, 7-11. Furman covered twice versus Chattanooga in the season by 9 and 10.5 points. Good luck to our guy, Matty Puppy Sports. Schreckengoss, Nathan, give him a follow. This guy knows his hockey. He knows his sports in general. He likes the Oilers team total over 4 minus 115. Edmonton has scored 5+ in 5 of their last 6 on the road and have scored 4+ in 11 of their last 14 road games. Buffalo has allowed 5+ in 4 of their last 6 at home, averaging 5 goals allowed during that stretch. Then you look into some 5-on-5 stats. Looks like a lot favoring the Oilers offense tonight. Beautiful. Buffalo, New York. Okay, one more here, I think. All right, this is producer Tito. So a bit of a warning here. Tito is a Miami Heat fan, an unrealistic Miami Heat fan, by the way. And he's also, when he submits these picks, I think he's hitting at around 15%. Well, maybe that's a little generous. But either way, he likes Jimmy Butler over 22.5 points. Atlanta ranks 26 in opponent points in the paint per game, 25th in opponent points from 2-pointers per game, and 26 in opponent percentage of points from free throws. Jimmy had a great February. averaging 21.6 while shooting 50%, and he thrives at the foul line. Yeah, not a bad handicap from Tito, to be completely fair. Jimmy Butler scores the majority of his points in the paint and at the free throw line. So potentially a nice hit there from our guy Tito. Okay, so we got a big week planned for you guys here on Chasing That Paper this week. Kevin Rogers is going to be with me tomorrow, weighing in on some college basketball. Very special guest coming up on Wednesday. Gilles Gallant from the Action Network will be joining me. Then Ian will be with me on Thursday and Friday. We're going to be doing our favorite MLB over-under win totals for the season. And like I said off the top, Ian will be facing the music for that Cyril Gahn biggest bet he's ever made in his life selection. Before we get going, let me tell you a little bit about today's Handicapper Heat Check presented by VegasInsider.com, your home for the best expert picks in the business. Since 1997, Scott Rickenbach dominated books on Sunday with a perfect 4-0 all-sports sweep. Steven Nover went 3-0 in the NBA yesterday and is on a 9-1 NBA run. Kyle Hunter has a 25-8 college hoops record for the last 14 days. Visit VegasInsider.com/picks for tonight's best bets. That's your Handicapper Heat Check. Stay hot, bettors. All right, that's it for today. Fly solo. We get in and out a little bit quicker. A 19-minute program here today. So yeah, I'm going to be back tomorrow, same time, same place with Kevin Rogers. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you are subscribed to the Vegas Insider channel. Best of luck with your bets tonight, unless, of course, you are fading me. And as always, keep chasing that paper.